Hey y'all, it's Margaret.
And Bradley.
With the 2020 pandemic in full swing, the world in lockdown mode, and work life in flux,
We decided to make margaritas out of the limes we were dealt. So we bought a 1973 houseboat in Minnesota with plans to boat it down the Mississippi River to our home in New Orleans.
so grab your life vest and your beverage of choice. We assure you it will be one wild ride. We're getting a special delivery for our anniversary.
All right.
A delivery?
Wonderful.
Special delivery to the restaurant. Y'all are our
What?
deliverers.
So this bridge right here, this is what I talk about. Every time you come over it, you look out and you're like, oh, I can see the river. Oh, there's boats. And now here we are.
Can we see our boat?
Yeah, you can see it glistening in the sun just like its logo.
Okay, now we're in Mississippi. Sixth anniversary. Now it's time to go.
6 years.
6 years. Now it's time to go cocktail at Under the Hill Saloon. You excited, babe?
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah. We are literally going over a levee onto the Mississippi, all dressed up. Bradley's got on leather flip-flops. I've got on leather gladiator sandals.
And you look beautiful. Look at that. Hang on, don't trip. Watch this. Oh, there she is. Look at that beaut. Baby.
You think we can do it?
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm about to turn back into a mermaid.
We're done with land, or are we
No,
going
we're
back?
done with land. Oh!
What's up? You know, it's only good to film like this and for a fall. Which my flip-flops almost caught.
Oh, look. Someone was so smart and they left there.
Wait, what did they leave? What is that? Hold on. Look, I
They
left a
left-
surprise on the trail, everybody. Look at that.
He left
Oh.
his cutting board that I was so mad about out on the trail.
The board continues. Look at it. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
The board that keeps on giving.
The board that keeps on giving. Now it's a 3-in-1 board. It was 2-in-1. Now it's 3-in-1. Look at this. So y'all just saw one use. I'm about to show y'all the second use. Right this way, my lady. Right this way.
Look at you.
Make sure everyone can see your walkway.
Oh.
Here's the second use.
It's my red carpet.
Come on. Oh, look at that. See how smooth she just walked up over that thing like that? Dang.
Dang.
Dang. Happy anniversary, baby.
Thank you. Happy anniversary.
A lot of people have been asking us, how do we find beaches? Where are we staying? What are we doing with the dog? So I wanted to show y'all exactly how we kind of identify the beach that is proper for us, because it's kind of a catch-22. You can either have it a little shallower to where you feel safer tied up in the boat security when it comes to barges and waves and not getting kicked sideways. But then the flip of that is that you have it's too shallow in a sandbar and mud builds around your boat, sand builds up around your boat and around your prop, and then you're stuck. So the biggest thing we look at when we're looking on the GPS right here, so you have, so your light blue is kind of your main channel, and then your darker blue starts signifying that it's getting shallower, and this green, it's all water, but that signifies that it's kind of beaches or sandbars. So the deeper the green is, which this is really deep, so that kind of tells me when you look up there though, you would look. So when you look up there, you see that beach, you're like, man, that's an awesome beach, let's stay at that beach. But the problem with trying to go to that beach, when you come back and look at the GPS, you can see that you've got almost half the channel coming out to get to that beach right there. So that's going to indicate to me that it's probably going to be a big sandbar. It's going to be real flat or shallow, and we're going to get stuck. And then our second deal that we look at, just to further prove and confirm it, is we're only 26 feet deep right now. So we're probably 300 yards from the bank, and at 300 yards, we're 25 feet. So that does not leave a lot of room for slope or elevation to give you depth to protect your motors. So this right here would not be an optimal beach or somewhere we could stay. The other thing I need to point out is the channel markers. So these are our green channel markers that are on the right here. And so the other big caveat is we have to be out of the channel. If we're in the channel, if we were sitting on a bank right here or right there, a barge could come and wipe us out because we're in the middle of the channel. So you have to be able to get out of the channel and into these green areas outside of the channel. But if you did it anywhere around here, you're going to get stuck, no doubt. So what we'll do is we'll follow along looking for these. And so somewhere right here where it's green, but see it's much less depth from the darker blue to the bank. But yeah, that bank tells me it is sand. So this is somewhere I would identify to try to stay. So we're out of the channel. We would have a shorter, shallower bank, or less depth of a bank, so it's chances of getting shallower. And just to my point, we'll come back. So you see, guys, we are somewhere right around here, which I said would not be a good beach and not be wise. If you come look again, you can see, sure enough, just like we predicted, the sandbar comes all the way out here. So even though it looked safe and it looked like water, that could have been 2 feet underwater a week ago, and we could have come across the top of it thinking we're safe, and then our boat could literally look like a shipwrecked pirate ship or something sitting out in the middle of a sandbar for the rest of eternity. So that's kind of how we already determined that that's not safe. So anything that looked like that was okay over there, chances are it could be anywhere from 2 to 5 feet deep all the way across, and the sand will build up quickly on the boat. It's another telltale. You can see the trees that are sitting where they look like they're sitting in water. That's all on land right there. So that just further confirms exactly what we already know by looking at our charts, looking at our maps, and kind of understanding how the channel versus the banks work. So that's something we figured out kind of on day one, because we almost got stuck and we kind of looked at the map and tried to figure out what happened and why. And ever since then, we've gotten a pretty good system. We follow the rules. So even if we needed to pull over, we need to get off because a certain time, we couldn't pull into something like that because we'd be stuck. We'd never get off. You can also see where rock banks are and rock embankments. If I was scrolling forward and I was looking, if it's a rock embankment, I can't do that either. So if you look just here to the left, now granted, this is in the channel, so it already doesn't meet that metric, so we couldn't do it. But had this been out of the channel, you can see the entire bank is lined up with rocks. So that would never be an option. It seems like common sense if you're just riding and looking, but the deal is we have to project this 50 miles out, 40 miles out, try to start figuring out where we're gonna stay well before it gets dark, so we don't get in a situation where we don't have anywhere to stay for 10-mile stretch and we have to run at night. So being able to identify all this on our charts and our GPS well before we get to it, in having a couple of these rolls being out of the channel, not having too long of a sandbar on it, not having rock embanked walls. It's a number of kind of little metrics we've put in place that have helped us identify the perfect beaches that have allowed us to beach it, be safe, get off the boat, let the dog off, but then also be able to get the boat back into the channel the next day without being stuck. So right now we are in the dead center channel of the Mississippi River. And then if you look right here, this is the cut where the Red River, which is the Atchafalaya, cuts into the Mississippi River. The locks and dams are right through this cut. So if we wanted to go up to Shreveport, Louisiana and Northwest Louisiana, we just take the Red River right here. Also, if we wanted to go up to Monroe in Northeast Louisiana where my parents live, we could take this up, lock into the Black, and then lock into the Ouachita River. We pull right up to my parents' backyard. But here it is right here. Alright, so right now we have been bordering the Mississippi-Louisiana state line. But if you look right here, this is the Louisiana state line. As soon as we cross this point right here, we will be only in the state of Louisiana. Everything else down here is all Louisiana, which is also home. If you notice too, this is the Angola East Bank Ferry. So Angola, which is down here, this is Louisiana State Penitentiary, and then Angola Prison. So you can see it. So we've got to get past this, otherwise we may get shot. And we're getting closer to home. About 200 miles out. He must scout the perfect place, looking for the perfect location. Oh, there he goes. For everyone wondering, yes, this is how he poops. We get to a beach and let him run and poop. Look how beautiful this is. My goodness. It's phenomenal.
If you fall, I will follow.
Okay, go ahead.
If you fall, I will follow. In the dark exist no shadow. In the dark exist no shadow.